is a CCTV at the entrance of the Central Police Station. There is a CCTV also at the reception. All those CCTV cameras destroyed, that you have nothing completely to explain whether Albert Ojwang came when he was sound and safe. And maybe whether you are correlating the traveling from Omabi to Nairobi and to DCI, the way my colleague has explained here. So, because if you're investigators, you know, you cannot give us half-baked information. Just tell us exactly what has been happening. And because you are vice chair, you know, the chairman could really be the person to pin down. But because you are the vice chair, there are some things maybe even you have not privy to what is happening. Where is the chairman? Where is he that he cannot attend this important session? That the Senate of the Republic of Kenya has stopped all business to handle this matter since yesterday, Mr. Speaker. We spent actually the whole afternoon yesterday, today morning, we are ready to stop any business. I was to travel actually to my county. I have suspended everything that I was to do, either personal or official duties, so that we can handle this matter. Mr. Speaker, we can even decide we'll do it even in the afternoon. We are not in a hurry. We want to stop this thing once and for all. We want to help Kenyans. We want to help the government of Kenya to function. We can only help if we deal with the officers working for the government. Maybe the person at the helm might not be aware of what is happening, but we can only deal with issues affecting Kenyans if we handle officers of government to task. Let them explain. If the officer will say, I was given the authority to say this or to do this by another officer who is there than him, we want to go that level, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, my colleagues agree with me that we can suspend all business. Actually, the order number 9 was a report from liaison officer. Mr. Speaker, I'm not ready to move that order until we get clear information from this team which is here. We are not in a hurry. Let the Senate of Kenya, which I'm serving in this 13th Parliament, be known as the Senate which stopped extrajudicial killings. Mr. Speaker, 4 years ago we lost a very young man, not a sniper, Daniel Mudeini, sniper from Meru. Up to date, that guy has never been banned because we are waiting for investigations to be concluded. We lost another gentleman, Mwenda Mbijewe, in 2016. Up to date, we have no traces of Mwenda Mbijewe. Sniper is lying at the morgue in Maua Hospital. Still, we said we shall not bury him as a Meru community until we get justice for Sniper and his family. So, Mr. Speaker, I don't think if I'm a senator representing a community and then we come and rush over issues here, then we are doing the wrong thing, Honorable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I can even resign as a senator for Meru if any business that we do here, we don't do it conclusively. I can tender my resignation. If at all we are doing things covering, and then the officers will go, no conclusion. And Mr. Speaker, I'm really at the pains because of those two guys from Meru. Now the case of Omabe, I mentioned again, Omabe is breeding. They lost an MP the other day. They have lost another young soul. Mr. Speaker, we must get these things right, Mr. Speaker. And when we are consulting with my friend here, Majority Leader, he is also at the pains. He wants to see everything. Kila kitu acha ituchimbue kwa hii msakato saa hii, Bwana Speaker. Asante sana, Bwana Speaker.
Senator Wambua, Senator Mazai and Senator Majority Leader just approach the bench. Senator Wambua, you may proceed.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first
Just proceed, Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, first of all, I want to register my displeasure. I want to register my displeasure, Mr. Speaker, with the absence of the IPOA chairman in these proceedings. And I will say this for the record, that IPOA is perhaps the weakest link when it comes to investigating crimes committed by police officers. You have failed this country. The absence of your chairman in a proceeding as important as this is just a testimony of how casually you do your work. To hear that the IPOA chairman is in Arusha, undertaking whatever business he's undertaking, when this matter is being transacted in the Senate, is a shame. Now let me go to the questions that I want to ask. One, to the IG. Was Central Police Station the first police station for Albert to be booked upon arrival in Nairobi? Is that the place where he was first booked? Secondly, IG, did you tell us on record and under oath that the OCS Central Police Station confirmed that Albert was in good physical health at the time of being booked in the police cell? For us, if that question is answered, IG, then it will lead to a lot of other conclusions. Was this man okay when he was being booked in the police cell? On IG, who interfered with the CCTV cameras at the Central Police Station on the night in question? And you cannot tell us you don't know. Because if you don't, there's a big problem. Who exactly interfered with the CCTV cameras and for what reason? Number 4, to the CID boss. What is the fate of the arresting officers? Where are they? Where are your arresting officers? We have been told that the officers that just booked in a suspect at the Central Police Station have been suspended. We've been told they have recorded statements. What about the arresting officers? Where are they? You have given us their names. Are they still in service? Perhaps pursuing the next suspect. Where are they? And it is at that point, Mr. Speaker, that I must put it straight to the CID boss. That Kenyans have a big problem with officers from your unit. A big problem. In fact, I will say it on record in the Senate, that the operational tiff between your officers and regular police officers is a source of serious concern to the security of this country. You cannot tell us that officers who just received a suspect are being suspended from service, and that the officers who did the arrest and transported a suspect all the way from Awego to Nairobi, we don't know where they are. To CS Murkomen, as I conclude, you are our colleague. So much so that we actually even have you in one of our social forums where we discuss our social issues as colleagues. My brother, when the country was faced with similar circumstances while you served with us here, you took a very firm position. I remember the day when you seated there, really, really digging into the character of then Regional Commissioner Natembeya because you believed that he was doing certain things that were not right for Kenyans. To hear you today, Senator C.S. Murkomen, say that you have no eyes on matters security is a big, big betrayal to what we as leaders stand for. It's actually a shame. C.S. Murkomen, you can and you must do better. On this one, you can and you must do better. You must be the first person demanding answers before we even bring you here. You must be the first person even demanding that aids within the senior police officer's role. Now, Speaker, as I conclude my submission, this matter, and I have seen you have called our leaders. I don't know, maybe you consulted on the issue that I want to raise. Now, Speaker, this matter is so grave and so important that we cannot limit time for this. If it means that we spend the whole day today here dealing with this matter, so be it. So be it. A life has stopped inside a police station. For the first time, I'm now being confronted with admissions from police officers that a police station is a scene of crime. And that crime is murder. Mr. Speaker, this is a serious issue. If people are being killed in police stations, we cannot say that we are rushing to other things. As Senator Merwa said, we have suspended a lot of things. I'm supposed to be attending a party PG, but I say no, this is important. This is important. The Speaker, give senators, colleagues, a chance to just deal with this matter. And if need be, if we need CCTV camera to be played, to just get to the bottom of this matter, the Speaker, so be it. I submit.
Senator Veronica.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. And I want to thank the CS for coming in promptly to respond to issues that arise on your desk. Issues of serious urgency and serious emergency in our country. Honorable CS, I want to take you to Article 244 before I get into the questions, the specific questions of this matter. The Article 224 lays down the objects and the functions of the National Police Service. Honorable CS, I'm very concerned that, number one, under Article 244, sub-articles C and D, the National Police Service is supposed to comply with constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms of Constitution 2010, and D, to train staff to the highest possible standards of competence and integrity, and to respect human rights and fundamental freedoms and dignity. And I want to remember the police officers who served during our days in the university. Honorable CS, we used to attend the Christian Union in main campus. We would go back to Parklands at night. The people who would escort us in the night were police officers. Where are the police officers upholding the constitutional standards of human rights and fundamental freedoms? And what are you doing as a means of policy to guide and help the police service to comply with Article 244 C and D? And a few years ago, there was a police reform program which was being managed by Laikipia University and maybe other universities. Is that program still on? Because I sense the police officers may not be understanding what to do with suspects when they arrest them. Are you going to revise your management strategy on how you reform the handling of suspects from the time of detection of crime, arrest, placement into custody, bail and board process, and how do you show accountability to Kenyans? What are you going to do following these very distressing incidents of Albert Ojwang losing his life in a police suspect? Until when that suspect is produced in court, how are Kenyans going to check? What document are they going to be checking? The next time somebody is arrested in a police station, are they going to sign something that they are not beaten? By the time they exit that police station within the 24 hours, what document is that suspect going to be given to show to Kenyan a form of accountability that all has been well when they are arrested? That's one question. And then I come to the specific questions that beg answers and which Kenyans want to hear. Who deleted Albert's X account? And when was it deleted? And what was the reason for that X account being deleted? IPOA, you are the agency investigating this specific aspect. Initially, the account was being investigated for posting something against the DIG. But when investigations commenced and Albert eventually lost his life, who deleted Albert's X account? IPOA has given us a narration of evidence here that the CCTV at Central Police Station was interfered with. My colleagues have asked who interfered with the CCTV. I ask the next question. Was there a backup of what was in the CCTV? There must have been a backup somewhere. Can that backup be recovered so that the incidents of what happened in that cell can be made known to Kenyans? And finally, how long will these investigations take? I know IPOA was given 7 days by DPP through a public announcement. Within the 7 days, I believe this is the second day. How long will it take for justice to be granted to the family of Albert? And I want to say finally, CS, I hope you, together with the team that you are with here, you will have the boldness, because you've done a good thing to offer condolences to the family, and we deeply feel with the family. And this is Senate's way of saying we are deeply sorry for what has happened to this family. I hope with your team, the same level of hierarchy, you will sit down with Albert's family, and not too long from now, to say how deeply sorry you are for the loss of this young man, and that after sitting with this family, the National Police Service will take full responsibility for this loss, and will be able to indemnify this family. Not that it will bring Albert back to life, but as a way of showing your remorse. And for the police officers in all the stations, this is a different nation. When a suspect walks into your station, you must safeguard the dignity of the life of every Kenyan. Sometimes people are suspected, yet the court acquits them because they did not commit any crime. So when you're in your stations, you are accountable for the lives of the people who are placed under you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Dulo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think the whole country is watching today this proceeding. I know this is a matter that is very serious. Personally, I should have had a function in my county, Mr. Speaker. Through your instruction, I had to cancel my function today in Isiolo County to be here to listen to this proceeding and also contribute to it. Mr. Speaker, I want to ask IG and the team. We have been told that DIG wrote to DCI to carry out investigation. Can we be provided with all documentary evidence from the letter written by DIG, the result of CA, the result of autopsy, all the findings, all those documents must be submitted to this House for thorough interrogation. That is number one. Number two, Mr. Speaker, there is tendency of actually, in the case of cybercrime, where individuals commit crime, they are transported all the way from where the crime is committed to Nairobi, where taxpayers' money is spent, police officers are sent, vehicles are fueled. I have a case in my county, Mr. Speaker, a young girl by the name of Samira. She actually was arrested in Mombasa, brought to Nairobi to write a statement. From Nairobi, she was taken to Isiolo to write a statement. She has a young baby. Mr. Speaker, her telephones were taken 3 months ago. Up to now, they were not returned to her. Is there a law that says when somebody is arrested, for example, in Mombasa, she should not be tried there? She should be brought to Nairobi or taken wherever police want to take them. That is number one. Mr. Speaker, I am not happy with the position given by IPOA. Of course, they have had their findings. What action or instructions have they given out as far as their preliminary investigation is concerned? Mr. Speaker, I think this is a very serious matter as far as cybercrime is concerned, where individuals actually politically also fix each other. And this is a matter I would ask CS Murkomen, even if it means actually amending the law that governs cybercrime, something has to be done so that we correct that situation where our kids, where politicians also fix each other, that the law must govern that particular act properly. I thank you.
Senator Abbas.
Thank you so much, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, mine I think is very short. I want to ask one question to the the IG, and I think that it has been asked many times. One IG, there is a police station in every part of this country. What has necessitated people to be driven for 370 kilometers? You don't trust your officers in the other places? 2, did the DIG who complained about Albert write a statement? And if yes, where is the statement? Can it be submitted to this council? 4, the IG, Kenyans seek protection from police when they have a problem. They run to police stations. The same police stations is where people die now. Can you advise Kenyans where we can run to for security? I want you to tell these Kenyans that now that the police stations are not safe, then where do you go next? Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Haji.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to start by sending my condolences to the family and friends of the late Albert Ojwang. What happened to him is indeed a sad incident, and it should not happen to any Kenyan. Any life, one life, is a life too many when we lose. And Mr. Speaker, sir, today is a special day. It is quite unprecedented that we are having this special sitting to discuss the death of a Kenyan. And I hope that this is a precedent that we are going to set as this Senate and as a country in the whole. Because, Mr. Speaker, sir, where I come from, and I have to relate the matters happening to this country to where I come from and to the people that I represent. Mr. Speaker, sir, as we discuss the death of Albert Ojwang and the circumstances that led to his death, and I would like the Senator for Homa Bay, Senator Kajwang, and Senator Beatrice Ogola to try and understand where I'm coming from. In no way am I trying to disrespect this very sitting today here. But I would like to see some level of fairness in this country. I would like to see that the life of any Kenyan, anywhere, is important to all of us. Mr. Speaker, sir, last week, the Senator of Turkana stood on the floor of this House with a statement inquiring about the death of 40 fishermen who were killed and left in the lake, and 4 other individuals who were detained and then killed thereafter. And not a single senator requested for a special sitting for those 44 individuals. Not a single senator. Not this country begged for questions about the death of those individuals. Not the main media, not even on the social media. So it begs the question, are there some Kenyans who are more equal than others? Are we to believe that we are brothers and sisters or cousins in that matter? Or maybe there are cousins who are more equal than others? Or is a death of a young man such as Albert Ojwang an opportunity for political expediency? Whether on the main media or the social media? And you know, Mr. Speaker, people will label me whatever they want to label me. They would say I am part of the system, that I am a brother to so-and-so. But Mr. Speaker, I was a patriot of this country before I came to the Senate. I was a patriot before any of my relatives living is serving in any part of this government. I was a patriot, and I have personally fought for this country. I have personally put my life on the line for this country. So whether I'm related to anybody, it is not the issue here. The issue is, as a country, can we be so sincere to each other and agree that we are brothers and sisters? Or tell us of certain regions that there are people who are more brothers than we are. And Mr. Speaker, when I sit here and I listen to senior citizens, senior senators speak on the floor of the House, and then remind this country of the Arab Spring, I have tremendous respect for Senator Dr. Boni Khalwale. I have tremendous respect for him. He's a leader in this House. I have tremendous respect for Senator Wambua. But they both mentioned the Arab Spring. Senator Wambua yesterday, today Senator Boni Khalwale, reminding us as a country of the Arab Spring, reminding the youth of this country about the Arab Spring. What happened subsequently after the Arab Spring? Any of those countries, mention them. Have they benefited in any way? Constantly reminding the youth of this country that you have an option, and that option is the Arab Spring. Look at the Arab Spring. Take an example from them and superimpose it on this country. Mr. Speaker, sir, that is very unfortunate. We shouldn't be going that way. Mr. Speaker, sir, we must remember that any seeds that we sow today, we will reap the results not far too long. If we want to sow the seeds of disconnect, of inequality, of some regions being better than others, it will be very unfortunate, and we will continue in that path. I would want to beg this House. I have a case of 6 youths in Garissa, 6 youths between the age of 18 to 21 who were brutally murdered on the road in Garissa, brutally murdered, execution style, told to bend down, kneel down, and shot in the head, in the back of the head. Until today, it's been 2 years. Until today, we don't know if it's whether it is a security apparatus who killed them, or it was a criminal organization that killed them. We don't know. We don't know. But we've not had, not the human rights organization, not the civil society, not the media houses, have ever decided to pursue justice for those 6 people. If this continues, some of us, or some senators here, will feel disconnected from the rest of the country. And we will not feel for the pain of some people, which will turn us to less of a human. We all believe that a life, any life, is important. And I want to beg this House, if this is the precedence we are setting, let us keep it to this. Let's not use this as a political opportunity to get mileage for whatever matter. The next death of any Kenyan, let's have a special sitting and discuss the circumstances to the death of that Kenyan. Mr. Speaker, sir, going to my question, I would like to ask the member of IPOA, representing IPOA today here. She had mentioned the issue of CCTV, and I know many senators have asked a question about the CCTV. And I was a bit curious to know how many of our police stations have CCTV, and how many of those cameras are placed within the cells of those police stations. And if in that particular case, in the case of Albert Ojwang, were those CCTVs working even before IPOA decided that they were interfered with? And my next question is to the IG. IG had stated here that when they moved the deceased Albert Ojwang from the cell to Magathi police station, he was declared dead upon arrival. Was he alive at the time he was moved from the station? That is something we missed in his submission. My final question to the IG, I'm just wondering out loud, why do the police arrest people in certain areas and transport them to Nairobi for investigation? Does it mean that with the devolved system that we have now, the DCI or the police cannot conduct investigations at where the person has been arrested? Could you elaborate on this issue as well? Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Newt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'll be very fast in my questions. Mr. Speaker, I would like to first remind both the CS and the IG that the reason why the Kenya Police Service is Kenya Police Service today and not Kenya Police Force, why that transformation happened, Mr. Speaker, was because there was need to establish a friendliness between members of the police service and the members of the public. And what we are seeing here, Mr. Speaker, is that members of the public now increasingly will find the police very hostile, and they may not even be able to collect information from members of the public. Why I say this, Mr. Speaker, is because the speed at which this particular complaint against Albert Ojwang was executed, the investigation, a mere 3 days and every investigation had been done and arrests made. Mr. Speaker, this then shows that the police and those serving in this service have become very special people. And Mr. Speaker, when we are talking of, somebody Ojwang, whose only crime was making allegations on social media, that is X,
and investigations were carried out in that type of speed, while we have Ojwang who is now lying dead, and the police have actually no substantive result of this investigation. They have not been able to indicate who committed this particular crime. Mr. Speaker, we must ask ourselves very many questions. Now, Mr. Speaker, the IG should tell us why Ojwang was held in a cell alone. Because the problem that we have here of identifying who committed this crime, we have it because there is no particular eyewitness to what was happening, what happened in that particular cell, if this murder happened in the cells. And so, Mr. Speaker, the IG must tell us why Ojwang was held all alone in a cell. Because had he been held with other cellmates, then of course we would be able to get information from the other cellmates that they would have been with. My question to the CS is, Honorable Murkomen, does DIG Lagat have to be in office? Would the whole police service crumble just because DIG Lagat steps aside? We have seen even more senior people stepping aside to allow for investigations. And the CS Murkomen should tell us why DIG Lagat has to be in office. Unless DIG Lagat is so important that everything else would come to a standstill if he steps aside. DIG Lagat must step aside so that Kenyans can have faith in the investigations that will be done by IPOA and any other body, Mr. Speaker. Now, the IG has said a very interesting thing, Mr. Speaker. You know, we have also been guests of the state. I have never ever seen any examination carried out on somebody arrested to establish their physical or mental wellness. Unless, so the IG kindly tell us, since when did the police start assessing the mental well-being and physical well-being of people before admitting them to the cells? Because this has never ever happened. And so the IG is economical with the truth. Let him tell us, tell this house, the crime being perpetrated, we have crime being perpetrated right in a police station, and that is interference with CCTV cameras. So if the police are the people that are supposed to investigate crime and even arrest criminals, and there are criminals within, then IG must tell us what then, where our safety then lies. CS Murkomen. You know, Senator Wambua said you can and you should do better. And I agree totally with him that you say you have no eyes, CS, while we have seen you recently having very sharp eyes on political comments made by people, and you have been actually calling for the arrest of people making political statements that are not suitable to you. How can you have no eyes when a young man has lost his life in the hands of the police? So I think we need to see a more serious CS, Mr. Speaker. The IG must tell DIG Lagat, if you do not have a skin thick enough to be able to tolerate public criticism, then you have no business being in public service. Because we cannot believe that we are here now debating about the death of a young man just because he made comments on social media. And in any case, because CS Murkomen is a lawyer, he should be able to tell us, because some of us believe that this was a civil matter and not a criminal matter. Why was Ojwang arrested and transferred again all the way to Nairobi? And the DCI should tell us why, whether there is a DCI office in Homa Bay, because that is where all these investigations should have happened. If he doesn't tell us, then we can conclude that DIG Lagat had then instructed, but that he wanted to see Ojwang
before anything else. Otherwise, this crime should have been investigated in Homa Bay. There is a DCI office in Homa Bay.
Senator, there is an intervention from the majority leader.
Okay.
You will still proceed.
Speaker,
Just take a seat.
Mr. Speaker, it is now 12:57, and I'm worried because we are running out of time before we can hear any single response from the parties that are before us. Will it be in order?
Senator Fernandi, this is not a point of order. It is a point of intervention. I was very clear. Proceed. Just proceed, proceed.
Mr. Speaker, whatever I will say will benefit many people, including Senator Cherargei. So I don't know why, Mr. Speaker, because I want to request, Mr. Speaker, that because there are many of our colleagues that have not had an opportunity to speak on such an important matter, that we transact this business in the afternoon as well, with your permission. I know there is a technicality, Mr. Speaker. I know that there is a technicality because the motion lapsed at some point. But if you so permit, Mr. Speaker, we could still come back with a motion in the afternoon at 2:30 so that we revert back and we listen to the statements. That's my humble pleading to you, Mr. Speaker, because you are out of time.
Now, honorable senators, it is now 1 minute to 1 p.m., which is the time for the House to adjourn. Looking at the business that still lies ahead of us, we certainly cannot conclude in less than a minute. I will therefore be amenable to allow this debate to proceed at 2:30. And therefore, at this juncture, honorable senators, we shall resume normal sitting of the Senate. We proceed to adjourn and then come back at 2:30. Now, honorable senators, we are now back to the normal session with all the standing orders in full force. Honorable senators, it is now 1 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until later today, Wednesday the 11th of June 2025 at 2:30 p.m. I thank you.